you guys. How are you all? Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you guys. Hey, Tony. Hey, Adrian. Foxy. Hey, Nadie. Black Swan. Harlot. Hey, Michelle Lee. West Virginia Jules. Hey, MK. Mary Jane Doe. Mama Chase. Patricia. For their forced generosity. Hey, Midwest Meemaw. K-Cat. I did, and we're going to talk about it, actually. Hey, Sunshine Girl, Michelle Lee, Preschool Granny, Law Nerd Amber, Chase. Good to see you guys. Our Thanksgiving is in October here, but happy Thanksgiving to those celebrating. Hey, Leslie, Ava. Hey, Kimberly, Sherry. Hey, Snow. Another Sherry. By Crime Curious herself. Okay, so there isn't a guest tonight. We're actually just gonna come on. I told you guys when it's a holiday, I definitely try to make sure to stream on those days, just because I know that many people who are watching YouTube and who are members of the channel are alone on the holidays or whatever. There's many reasons why we come to YouTube and start building relationships here and that kind of thing. So I knew I wanted to do a stream today, and I wasn't exactly sure what we were going to do. Then I saw some of this spiraling out, and I thought this is the perfect time to go back to the island, Watts Island. So we're going to talk about Cheryln Cadle, her new book, some of her other books that she's released that really haven't made as much of a splash that I didn't hear about at the time. Hey, Curious Jen, Angel something. We're going to talk about all of that. We're also going to talk about book reviews and how that works and some things going on in the YouTube community because of that. So it's just going to be a laid back hangout. Hey, True Crime Snoopy. A hangout kind of live. So I don't know how many of you guys know, but when I first started my channel, thank you, Patricia. When I first started my channel, Cheryln was a regular guest here so I had started doing TikTok videos, and I was really interested in the Watts case, and I was over here watching videos on it. However, I was mainly making videos on TikTok. Well, she had this new book coming out, and I reached out to her to ask her for an interview. And she said yes. And then we ended up her mods really liked me, and we kind of formed friendships there, which I'm still friends with some of them. Some of them still moderate for my Facebook group. And we decided to her mods, her and I, do streams together, just hanging out and talking about cases and stuff. Also talking about her books. Then there was an incident where we were just about to go live, and we had all these old pictures that she had gathered during writing her book, many of them that I hadn't seen before and things like that. And she just tells me and everybody else that Nicole was either arrested or about to be arrested. Oh my God, you guys, if you understood the horror in that moment for me, because I'm not stupid. I understand that if you build a reputation, I tried to explain this to a friend of mine, a few months ago, your reputation is going to stick to you. So you want to make sure to not, be out here acting wild and crazy, because some of these things you'll never be able to shake off. And it's I knew for a fact that I wanted my channel to bring accurate information, well-vetted information. And that was just not the direction I wanted to go. So we split after that. I was there, Allie. Wowie. We all felt bad for you. I will never forget that. I was like, oh my God. Happy Thanksgiving, Bendy. Hey, Fruit Fly. Hey, Stephanie. Tess, when I saw it in the middle of the night, I was like, I need to send to Allie ASAP. Now, I will say, it did give me, I think, a boost for my channel versus if I would have just started out by myself. Many people were interested in her story at the time. So I'm thankful to her for that. And she was never rude or disrespectful to me. I have no direct issue with her. So I just want to make that clear. Now, after that live happened, she was not happy with some of the comments that were on the channel, and I didn't remove them, but I always wanted to have a really open space for you guys too, to give your opinions no matter what they were. So, oh, Delaney, that socket, I remember that one. Oh my goodness. That was around the time I first started chatting here. Crazy, you guys. How walk away, Renee, True Crime Snoopy. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, my mom made this, Lori, my mom made this sweet potato casserole, and it had like pecans, like sugared pecans on top that were like kind of burnt, or not burnt, but had caramelized a little bit. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Okay, so I've got many things I want to share with you. I've been exploring this book. I know that Plunder put out a video. She's getting some hot water for it. So let's see, how are we going to start this? Oh, Shmita, thank you. So happy you got memberships back. Thank you. And thank you for being a member for 7 months. Let's see. Michelle said, I'm conducting a test with if it matters how to tag, so I know the way someone told me the space matters. Okay. I totally called her scribble. I was there too. How crazy. Oh, I'm sorry, Hawkins. I hope you feel better soon. How crazy, how long ago that's been, right? That's almost 3 years ago. So if you guys didn't know, Cheryln actually released a book right before this that also was about the Watts case. Now, it was about other cases too. We're going to go through all kinds of stuff. There was, Plunder did a very exceptional book review, and we're going to watch about 2 minutes of it. It's an hour-long video. I want to show you guys just one part, and then I want to show you what kind of happened after her video was posted. But first, let me just show you. So she came out with the Letters from Christopher book. This is kind of the history of it. There was another author who said that the book was, that it basically was her idea, and it copied her to the extent that she was suing. And so that book is gone. You can't get it now, but it was replaced with The Murders of Christopher Watts. You can see I was listening to with the Plunder and the Nicole Kessinger interview when I took these screenshots. But so she does Letters from Christopher. In the first one, she had the typed version of Chris's letter with his second confession. Now, in The Murders of Christopher Watts, it had the actual letter written out. So I feel like that book was valuable just for that reason, right? Because many people believe a lot of what Cheryln has the conclusions that she's come to, they believe it's just her opinion, right? Not necessarily based on facts, just things that she believes. But we know that this letter from Chris is straight from him. So I think that there was some value in that. Hey, Crackdown. Crazy mama. Okay. Then she started doing romance novels, and that's where you have this Love Must Cry. Okay. But after that, she came out with this book called Suffer the Little Children. Suffer the Little Children into the Hands of Evil. Strange title. Okay, sorry. Can I write a book about Chris Watts' Scrabble? Oh my gosh, I was looking today. I literally just did a search on Amazon for his name, and there are so many. She did threaten Plunder, and we're going to look at that. Okay, so this book came out not too long ago called Suffer the Little Children into the Hands of Evil. Very interesting title. So this is it's 16 true crime stories of children that have been murdered by their parents or foster parents. Most of these stories have been told by the murderer themselves. This came out March of this year. So listen to this. She gets this book idea from this woman who has reached out and wrote a letter to a convicted killer and created this relationship where she goes on to write a book. Hold on one second, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. I apologize, you guys. So she gets the idea to do this book from this other book, right? And then she does the letters from Christopher that comes down. Then she does the murders of Christopher Watts, where she's reached out to Chris Watts and starts this relationship with him. Then she goes out and reaches out to all these other families for this book, because almost every story she covers in this book, except for an exception of one or two, she's in contact with the murderer or the family. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you. Kessinger, The Downfall of Chris Watts by Scrabble on YouTube. Hey, Mia B. I agree, K-Cash. She had to know she would be heavily scrutinized. Welcome to the internet. You should know by now not to tinkle in your Cheerios. You need good reviews. I'm sorry, but you cannot come out and put books out and then get mad when people talk about them. If you come on here and you read word for word that book, that is copy. You can get copyright struck for that, right? But not what Plunder did. She just talked about the book and talked about what she gathered from it. So, oh, Kimberly, my mom's house smelled like that earlier. Okay. Hey, Clicker. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Queen Olive. If you want to get the first book, a Reddit link has a hyperlink to a download. Just be careful, because after someone tried to hack my Wi-Fi, but my man does cybersecurity, so we didn't get a virus. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't even have, I don't want to read that book. You know what I mean? Yes, she gave a review of the book where it. We're going to get into that. But I wanted to show you guys this history, because I did not know about this second book, which this book also has Chris Watts' story in it. It's actually the second story in the book. And then now we have this, The Many Faces of Christopher Watts. Okay. So right now, Amazon has a deal on the Murders of Chris Watts, the audio book, for $5.95. Okay. Now, let me show you guys this article that came out when she did this other book. I won't read it either. And Plunder gave her that publicity, and tons of people went to buy her book through Plunder and then went and canceled their order after the nasty message. Yeah, I don't. It's just ridiculous. I want those yummy smells in food instead of pizza pockets. Aw, happy Thanksgiving, Rena. Thank you for coming by, babe. Okay, so this is her local news. And it says, after finding success with her best-selling true crime book on Christopher Watts, Bourbonius resident Cheryln Cadle continues displaying her expertise in true crime with the release of her new book, Suffer the Little Children into the Hands of Evil, which released March 22nd. The book includes 15 stories of people, either biological or foster parents, who have murdered their children. Most accounts are recent true crime stories. All of them I talked to are either the murderer themselves or a family member, said Cadle, noting the book is not to glorify the murderers, but to remember the children. She said, I felt called to be a voice for the children who were murdered. I didn't want to highlight the murderer, but the voice for the children that were murdered. The book originally was to be a collection of 16 stories, but Cadle and her publisher opted to pull one at the last minute. Amazon has sold out of the book and needed to print more because of a high volume of orders. The idea for the book came off the heels of the Watts book, based on the 2018 triple homicide in Colorado. I've had the Christopher Watts book, which was so popular, and I've had different people write me asking if I'd do stories on their family member. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but the Watts story is in every book. And let me show you, because I took a screenshot, because I did, like, on Amazon, you can preview the book. So you just get like the first couple chapters or whatever. So like, for instance, this is chapter 2 of the Suffer the Little Children book. And I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read through anything except for just to show you that in chapter 2, it is Bella, Cece, and Nico. That is the story that she's presenting. So just a second. You know, I just think that it's a very popular case, and people know that if they write books on it, that they're going to get read, right? That's kind of where I stand with them. Now we're going to talk about Plunder's review. She goes on and she does this review of Cheryln's book, and she said in her video, basically, I just took that note right here that says no evidence, just opinion or gossip. She said basically there's nothing new in here with evidentiary value. I don't know if I said that right. There's no evidence in here. There's no, it's just really her opinions. So let's see. Oh, y'all can't even see what I'm looking at. So these are my little screenshots to share with you guys. But here is, Plunder posted this. After her video, she received this email. It says, Paula, I hope you're enjoying your few extra dollars off T-Worm and T-Book. What in the hell do you think you are doing? Please know for 100% I am suing you, and also my attorneys will have you taken down. I thought you professed to be Christian. This is theft. You totally stole my work. Does this make you a good creator? I don't think so. And you don't even have the guts to answer me. Enjoy your money now because you will need it to pay your attorney. From Cheryln Cadle, the author of The Many Faces of Christopher Watts, sent from my iPhone. Okay. First of all, I'm sorry, but I just think the audacity. Plunder is super respectful. She tries to keep things really honest. And if I got an email like this, I wouldn't respond because it's clear that she doesn't have an idea how the legal system works. You cannot sue people. You can't sue. When you put out a book, people are going to talk about it. Now, if somebody goes on their live stream and just reads through the book, sure, you could probably get some copyright issues for that. However, what Plunder did was nothing of the sort. She had so many clips of interviews and she just had a lot of stuff in her video. So then Plunder responds, and I'm going to read that to you guys because I thought this was so interesting. She says, what are you talking about? I have always supported you and purchased your books and defended you from the beginning. Now, let me take just a second to say, I'm going to link Plunder's video in a minute because we're going to watch about a minute out of it. After this live, you should check it out because she is extremely respectful. She never says a bad word. I'm telling you, you could watch probably several reviews of her books and see people say some really rude things. Plunder does not do that at all. So, yeah, this is about Plunder's video about the new book. Hey, Stacy Bobacy. Okay, so even when that other author was after you for plagiarism, I once again supported you. Perhaps you have not watched my full video, which actually gives free advertisement to your latest work, which many people would not know about. I've created a perfectly legal and honest review of your latest work. I have always encouraged my viewers to purchase your full books by sending them to your works on Amazon, and I see that they are clicking the links that I place prominently in my pinned YouTube comment, leading thousands of people over to your books, which they are purchasing via my links. If you actually reference the law, you will learn that book reviews are protected by copyright law. Reviews, commentary, and criticism are highly protected. I am a Christian, as are you. So I suggest we both take deep breaths this Thanksgiving and pray about the Lord's will in Jesus in this. Then she says, maybe once again you have me confused with some other person, as you've done in the past, when you've emailed me, going off on me, and then later apologizing. I suggest you actually watch the video and understand the legal nature of honest and truthful book reviews. I have been very fair and kind with you over these past years. And I think even her response was pretty fair and kind. And I can tell you what, when somebody immediately comes with, oh, I thought you were a Christian, that just weakens your argument. It's a low blow. There's no reason for that. It's not like, I don't know. If once you guys watch Plunder's video, you'll see what I'm saying. It was just so absolutely uncalled for. Taking the high road. I agree. She is intelligent. Katie. Oh my God, Kimberly, Katie, I used to watch her all the time. I loved her. I mean, she is so sassy. I would love for her to come back out with and do a video. She's a smart lady and not mean. Hey, B Crumbs. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. She called out a couple contradictions. Well, she did bring up something that I thought was pretty interesting about Chris having a new girlfriend. So you guys know, Amber and I put in a request probably 5 weeks ago now for Chris's prison records. And we still have not gotten a response from that. I don't know. I'm curious if we'll get one. But I really don't know how anyone's getting kind of this new information. I would like to know. But regardless, let me play this part of this video. This is where she mentions the girlfriend. We're just going to watch about a minute, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now as we are watching this minute.
Nicole was possessive and controlling in her own way. He didn't really know her as a person. Their relationship was sex only. She did her controlling with her female organs. Nikki used the fact that men are very sexual to her advantage. Definitely had a issue at that point. You saw people that it's hard not to come in contact with perversion. Now, 15. So where is Christopher now? She writes. What is he doing? He works in the prison hospital. That'd be interesting if he really works in the prison hospital, because before I thought he was working in the kitchen, like meat and stuff. He shares the Bible and his religion with sometimes dying inmates. He has a girlfriend, Lexi. She contacted me one day and asked for my opinion. However, the women that he becomes fond of seem to fall for his boyish charm and end up feeling he was wronged.
Okay, that's about half of what I want you to see. We're going to watch about a minute longer. But so she notes that he's working in the prison hospital and sometimes using his Bible and praying over, terminally ill inmates. And he has a girlfriend named Lexi or Alexi, and she's going to go on to talk just a little more about her, and that's what I want us to hear. But apparently, Cheryln in this book claims that the girlfriend reached out to her. So
they don't take my advice. However, she seems like a nice person, and she does recognize he has a sexual addiction, but I think she feels like he really loves her. As early as last year, 2022, I have requested Chris Watts' approved visitor history, and I have not seen on his list Alexi as an approved person. But those might be the only people who can actually visit him in person and do prison phone call. Now, this Lexi, whoever she is, maybe she's someone that came into his life after I got that list, or who knows. And Cadle writes about Chris getting 3 meals a day and everything he wants from the commissary. He receives many letters. A lot of them have money in them, $10 to $20 sometimes. I don't know. Can you send cash to prisoners?
no, you cannot. You cannot send letters to a jail with cash in there. What are they going to do? Oh, no. I just cannot believe that's in the book. No. No. So, and truth be told, I like being green, Michelle. Oh, Cynthia, thank you. I missed that super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. No, you cannot. Thank you, Stephanie. No. I'm going to have to check my condo. Oh, you guys are too sweet. Hey, just being here is the most important. So thank you guys. Yeah, she's absolutely beautiful, Tess. I agree. I remember when she started showing herself too. But so I don't know. That's just, it's inaccurate. I thought, and we might do this actually. Let's go. I do have the letter pulled up. because I think that is the one valuable thing out of these books is his own letter. The rest, I mean, I don't know. I personally would not buy a book on this case from many people because I don't think that many people know more than what we know, than what we've dug into, what we've watched people like Amber and Kelly dig into. I don't see the value in it. However, there are a lot of Chris Watts books on Amazon. That's what we're going to do because I want to show you some of the reviews for her other ones too. I mean, I don't know. No, that's just another creator, Michelle. I hope she got an editor this time. I wouldn't swear to it because I previewed the book and it doesn't appear that she did. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's go to Amazon. And search first Chris Watts book, okay? Now, if you wanted to make some money, and I mean anybody, there are a few people like if that have really researched the case. If they wrote a book on it, I would be so down to buying it. Just like when Crumb Grace's book comes out on Letitia, I cannot wait for that because she's done the work, the research, the fact checking. I mean, tons and tons of it, right? So not to say I would never buy a Watts book. However, it would have to be from somebody that knew what they were talking about. But, okay, so it would be probably a very easy way to make some money. Or if you have already written a book and you know how, I could see why a person would write not one, not two, not three, but 4 books on the murders that Chris committed, which Cheryln has done. We have Letters from Christopher, The Murders of Christopher, the new book that we're talking about right now, The Many Faces of Christopher Watts, and the other book that I told you guys about that she covers 16 different stories, and the second one being Bella and Cece. So 4 books in less than 4 years on the case. Okay, so here's all the books that come up. In Cold Blood, The Perfect Father, The Murders of Christopher Watts, My Daddy is a Hero, Blood and Marriage, A Deal with the Devil, The Truth Within the Lies. I mean, these books have thousands of reviews, some of them, right? We have The Case of Christopher Watts, an essay on the dangers of discussing this true crime case on social media. We have Beyond Tragedy, The Story of Shanann Watts. We have Two-Faced, The Man Underneath Christopher Watts. Then we have Two-Faced, The Mysterious Mistress. That's the next in the series. We have Christopher Watts, The Rest of the Story. We have No Inclination, inspired by the Chris Watts case. We have The Watts Family Murders. Killer Dads. And this is not all because her book is not coming out up. Here's another one of the Silver Fox, The Third Confession. The Shadow Man by Armchair Detective. We see that on there. The Family Next Door. That's about the Turpins. I'm sorry. But regardless, you see, there are many, many different books. And this is not all. Here is the Suffer the Children book from her. It's got 5 stars, but only 4 reviews. This is her 3rd book on the Watts case and other cases as well. But I just think it's important not to leave this one out because this is a whole nother book that was sold with this story. Let's look at the reviews. We're going to look at the reviews on our other ones, though. Someone says, for those who love true crime stories, this will be a little chilling. If you're a follower of true crime, you will love this book. This is very sad but easy to read. We'll check out Cheryln's other books. Now, this new book, Plunder says, is only 200 pages, but several of those pages is the transcription from Nicole Kessinger's interview. So I feel like you could probably put a book like that together pretty quickly. Let's look at these reviews. I love reading reviews and comments. I've thought many times about like doing videos with you guys where that's what we do. We go to like, say with Idaho, somebody releases like a really crazy video. Then we go through the comments of that video. Like, I think that's so interesting. We got spoiled, in my opinion. Yeah, that there was a ton. It was fun, though, to go through. But I don't know, I don't know, like with Letitia's, there's a whole 1,000 pages. Well, there's several thousands of pages of information, but I can't wait for her book either, you guys. Oh, thank you, Adrian, for dropping that. I know, I do too, Nay. I confess, I bought AD's book. Oh my God. I don't blame you. I get it. I definitely get it. Like the being curious. I love that. I'll wait for NK's book, How I Got Caught. Firefly says Cadle is trying to recoup the money she lost from her first plagiarized book. Well, I don't know. I think that this book right here sold a lot. And then if that article is accurate and her second book, or third book, The Suffer the Little Children book, which that title is just eerie to me. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Hey, Punksy. I pre-ordered a signed copy. Let's see. T. Michelle, not that I've seen. How do we even know what she says is true? She had to go by memory. She couldn't even take notes. So that makes me think of the telephone game. Oh, I absolutely agree. Well, that's why I think that the one valuable thing, right, is his letter in there, which I'll pull that up in a second. But let's look at these reviews. Look, reviews that mention Chris Watts. Nothing new. True crime. New information. Waste your money. Well written. Poorly written. Actual letters. Christopher Watts. Hard to follow. Grammatical errors. And waste your time. Wow. Those are the tags that come up for the review section. Let me get my hoodie blanket on, y'all, so I can go outside with you. Let's see. Okay. Prayers to the wife, unborn child, and daughters. Evil monsters do exist. They gave it 3 stars. Someone said, best book I've read in a long time, 5 stars. Well, I remember, though, like when I was friends with the mods and stuff, like a lot of the people that were in her Facebook groups and in her mod and stuff, they make sure to go and do reviews as well. So always keep that in mind. So here we have this person says, I ordered this book after seeing Cheryln Cadle speak on a Lifetime special about Chris Watts, his crimes, and his incarceration correspondence. She seemed sincere and troubled and perhaps regretful at having shared intimacies with a man who cold-bloodedly murdered his pregnant wife and 2 small daughters, despite his jailhouse conversion and deflections of his guilt from his cellmate and murder groupies. The show intrigued me. I wish it hadn't, but I did wonder what actually happened. There are a few answers here. Overall, this book is amateurish. However sincere, it desperately needed editing. There is random repetition and purple prose, I don't know what that means, which mildly irritated at first, then became obnoxious. There are too many lazy attributes to research without identifying this supposed research. And unfortunately, I suspect, since Cadle makes repeated references to social media, that she considers these dubious sources as research. The author cites Anne Rule and Truman Capote as her inspirations to write true crime. Neither are present here. She cannot answer the most basic question. Were the girls alive when Watts disposed of them in the tanks? She claims she doesn't know. Let's see. This one's pretty harsh. She says, I do not believe Cheryln is a true crime writer. I believe she's too emotionally invested with a sociopathic murder. I wish I'd never read this book. I do not recommend it. It fails at true crime and it fails at honesty. I give it 2 stars because I suspect Cadle is yet another victim of Chris Watts and did the best she could. Wow. Wow. Let me check on you guys. Well, they did buy rando. Like, I think that it had to be people that had bought it. But I do remember something about that. A little salacious, but an interesting read. Finally, a true account of the tragedy. It wasn't amazingly written, and it was very repetitive in parts. My expectations were very high for this book, but unfortunately, it didn't live up to the hype. My thing is this, though. You have a couple visits with this person and a couple conversations, but here we are 4 hours later in a whole nother book. How do you squeeze that out of that? You know, like I don't know. Let's look at the 1-star reviews. Terrible writing and no new information. The writing is awful. Grammar, spelling, sentence structure, abysmal. Some of it's funny, but even if you can look beyond that, there's no information. There's no information that hasn't already been out there. As far as the letters, for a man who claims to have an IQ of 140, his writing doesn't reflect that. And he's boring. This person, gaslighting at its finest. Hey, walk away, Renee. I still watch Seeking with Dave, and he adamantly admits that Chris speaks with family and a few friends only. Cece is not one of them. Ronnie and Cindy are often his mods in all of his lives. Yeah, I didn't figure they were talking at all now. Hey, Brandywine and True Crime. Sorry, the neighbors, I think, have friends or family coming over, and you can hear them. The evil isn't just in CW. First off, you not getting the name right several times shows utter contempt for the victims. It's Survey 319, not Survey 219. Hard to read. Don't waste your time or money. Shame on you, Cadle. Wow. Don't waste your time. For one, there is no new information. I'm surprised at all of these reviews, but honestly, if I think about it, there was a ton of people pushing back on social media too. Okay, so she is Stacy Bobasy. This is where the value comes in the books, I believe. This is where Daily Mail writes an article about it. How are you threatening to sue Plunder, but we have like a Daily Mail article with the actual letters in it? You know, we're gonna look at it in a second, but it's like, this is the one valuable thing why you would want to get the book, which during Letters from Christopher, like I said, it was typed up. Whew. I'm drinking this raspberry lemonade. It is freaking sour. Here's part of it. How can I get this off the freaking screen? Hi, Cheryln. Hello again. All right, let's look. Here's a clip of the one. August 13th, morning of, I went to the girls' room first before Shannon and I had our argument. I went to Bella's room, then Cece's room, and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering. After I left Cece's room, then I climbed back in bed with Shannon, and our argument ensued. After Shannon had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It's hard to read the next part of that. Hold on. Do I feel like I should be incarcerated for the act I committed? I most definitely think so. Do I imagine myself ever doing anything like this or being a danger to society? I most definitely think not. So here's them. I went to Bella's room, then Cece's room. I climbed back in bed with Shanann. Our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. Not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the act that much worse knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at the location. 3. The reason the medical examiner found oxy in Shanann's system is because I gave it to her. And I don't think that we don't know a lot because he had certain things sealed, which is quite interesting. But I'll never forget when this confession came out, like hearing that he did this twice. It's a pretty wild story, but I Googled, can prisoners handle or receive cash? And no, they cannot. Allie, you are correct. I didn't think so. I mean, I guess that these fans of his or whatever could put money on his books pretty easily, but hey Brandy, hey Richie, back at ya. Hey Butterfly Kisses. She's going to be heated after this live. I don't care. I mean, I really don't. It is what it is. We're just talking about, you cannot this is just the way it is. If you write a book, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a blog, if you go and join a cast for a movie, or if you do an interview with a huge network or whatever, when you put yourself out there, people are going to give their opinions on it. They just are. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. You cannot stop that. You need to accept it. And honestly, if it's something that can help you be better, it's hard to take constructive criticism. Trust me, because I get it all the time. When I first started getting it, I was like, ouch, like it would hurt. I couldn't handle it. Now it's just different. I've learned how to kind of accept it, but it's just part of it. If you want to put your book out into the public forum and collect money off of it, right? Because you're earning an income with these 4 books that you've written, because you've written 4 on the Watts case. We have Letters from Christopher, The Murders of Christopher Watts, Suffer the Little Children, which is one that's sneakily in there with the Watts story, and then this new one. He didn't do it twice. NK was for sure directly involved, in my opinion. His stories were crazy until Toilet Tea hit the spotlight. Now they're tame in comparison. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I'll never forget hearing about that. I also, still question like the issue with the toilets and the pipes, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff. He's in the next state over from me. I don't believe a word in his confession. In my opinion, those girls were dead before Shanann arrived home. That's an interesting theory. Oh, thank you, Past. Keep up the great work, Alex. Don't ever change for anything or anyone. Oh, thank you so much. That's really sweet. I appreciate that. Real one, family, and respect. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Much love back to you. Thank you so much. Hey, Meatfoot. I got full, but I'm wishing I would have got some more of that sweet potato casserole. She fully tricked him by saying these books were going to be about his religious redemption. Well, let's look at something. Because if I remember correctly, he talks about the book. That petition really blew my mind. Even if they ever did take my pictures, they can take my memories. That was when there was a petition to take the photos out of his cell. Now, this is another part of this that has always blown my mind. He says, if God keeps putting it on your heart that there is more to the story than what the FBI has, you're correct. I don't like saying stuff like that over the phone because I'm never certain when they screen my calls. Here he says about the book, he says, I'm not sure if I want this in the book or if God does, but here are the things I left out. August 12th, when I finished putting the girls to bed, I walked away and said, that's the last time I'm going to be tucking my babies in. I knew what was going to happen. So he doesn't know if he wants this in the book. It's really, I don't know. I'm not sure if this was a spiritual visit, but I had a dream Cece was dancing next to the chair in my cell. When she was dancing, one of my folders on the chair started moving, and I thought she was in trouble, and I said, watch out, get away, watch out. Then I woke up. I'm hoping she comes back. I hope everyone comes to visit me. I'm trying to see if I can clear my head better before I go to sleep to help. I like that John 10, 1 through 10 passage you sent. I wish I could have had an open ear to hear the Lord calling me back in June, July, and August. If we run after sin, we won't hear our shepherd calling us. I couldn't discern between the good spirits and the evil spirits, and that eventually lodged me into a deep pit I couldn't climb back out of. I pray that you and your family are doing good, and I pray that the Lord will keep directing us in this path. Take care, and God bless. Oh my gosh, those oil tanks. Watts squeezed Colette's body through an 8-inch hatch in one of the oil tankers. He said, I couldn't believe, I can't see the full quote, but he did talk about hearing the splash as she hit the oil. I mean, oh my God. Unbelievable. Well, happy Thanksgiving, Search and Rescue. Aw, happy Thanksgiving, Brandywine. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. I know, Tess, me too. Me too. The Watts case is what brought me to YouTube True Crime. So glad I was never on the island, though. Yeah, it's what brought me to that nasty-ass bikini. I'm telling y'all, it's really, truly looks like there's some residue on the counter, like in behind her right here. Like you see the reflection of the lotion bottle. Not that, but like right at the end of the counter. And like, I wish it would let us zoom on this because it looks like he's holding something in his hand as well. But I don't know. I mean, people have just looked for every little detail in this to where I don't know if our minds start to see things like that. I've argued that point, Allie. See, I agree. Okay, I'm telling you, I can see it. So, you guys, I guess tomorrow and Saturday, me and the kids might be going down to the beach to get a room for the weekend. But we're not for sure yet about that. But if we don't, the calls may come a little sooner than Sunday. But if we do go get the room, then we'll be doing December calls with Letitia on Sunday. Oh, Jesse, I had a good day. My parents are just absolutely precious. They cooked all day for us, and that's it. It was just us here. Good but sad, you know. Good but sad. I hope we get to do that too, Brandywine. It's only an hour from here, but just it like the hotel we usually go to has a really nice little indoor pool for the kids and stuff. But we have to see if they have a room where the animal can be. That's like our issue right now. So I don't know. I've had a really bad couple days. Like when I get stressed out, I isolate myself. I don't really want to like socialize or talk or do anything out. I don't know. And this YouTube stuff just has me so stressed out. Like I don't know. But Nay, I hope you had so much fun. Oh, thank you, Tess. Sunday seems like such a long time from now. Oh my God, speaking of Chris Watts, I can't believe I almost forgot this. So in my messages with Adam Montgomery, which I have put some like up on Patreon, I don't think I'll be doing any messages with anybody on a public forum anymore, just because like I don't want to give like I just don't want I think it draws too much attention to them. But anyways, in my messages with Adam Montgomery, I had asked something about commissary, and I referenced like knowing somebody that was locked up in Colorado and their commissary list and how extensive it was, which I was talking about Letitia, and to be honest, I was mistaken because that's her commissary list from Kansas. But regardless, I was just trying to like kind of pick and make conversation with him to see like how he was doing in there, what he had access to. He's on limited commissary, but he comes back and he says, "So you're from Colorado?" And I said, "No, I'm from West Virginia. I just know someone in Colorado." And he said, "Who do you talk to? Chris Watts?" Or hold on, let me pull it out to say exactly what he said. He asked, like, "Who are you in contact with, Chris?" And I was like, "Did you follow the Watts case?" And he said, "Yes." Yeah, so he said, "Who do you talk to, Chris?" And I said, "Oh, no, not Chris Watts. However, I've followed that case super closely. Did you?" He said, "Yeah, I did. That dude's fucking crazy. I know it's crazy." So it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, he is. But Adam, what you've done is just as disgusting. So I thought that was so interesting, though. Hey, Tree Baby. I know, B Crumbs. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's also like Barry Morphew, who was listening to like forensic files, and they found in he was listening to stories of people going missing in similar ways that Suzanne went missing. No way, hunted coyotes. Jesse Lynn, I have not asked him directly about his case. Now, I've tried a little bit. I've commented about witnesses that testified against him in his last trial, but he made a comment that said he hopes to get out of there in a few months. We know that he's sentenced for the gun charges, so I don't really know what he means by that. But just the fact that, like, when you find out that these people that have committed these crimes are following these other crimes, like Don Wells, for instance, he talks about like following other missing kid cases and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just eerie. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandywine. I know, I thought it was interesting too, Tess. Let's see. Let's do a quick search before I let you guys go. What is prison like on Thanksgiving? In the U.S., incarcerated people are allowed special occasions during national observances, such as Thanksgiving Day. Prisons across the country serve a special meal on Thanksgiving, which might include turkey and mashed potatoes with gravy. It is one of 4 holidays where a special meal is served. These holidays include Christmas, 4th of July, and New Year's. Incarcerated people do not have access to alcohol or the opposite sex. So all celebration in jail is done through alimentary canal. What? let's look at these articles really quickly, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I think this is kind of interesting. FYI, this story is over 5 years old from 2015. What it's like to celebrate Thanksgiving in a high security prison. Even in facilities where the threat of violence is the norm, there are days when no one is plotting against anyone else. Thanksgiving is one of them. I live behind a series of walls. Oh, wow. In West Virginia. I live behind a series of walls, gun towers, and electric fences deep in the mountains of West Virginia at the U.S. Penitentiary Hazleton, a.k.a. Misery Mountain. My conviction for armed robbery in 2002 has me sent through some of the most violent pens in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. In the 13 plus years that I've been incarcerated, not much has changed behind the barriers that define my existence during what should be the best years of my life. My mom retired from a federal prison in West Virginia. I am now at my 4th federal prison. At each spot I left by way of the hole. Gilmer, a medium security joint in West Virginia. I wore out my welcome after supplying the inmates with weed and tobacco. Let's see. So I've seen a few prisons, enough to know that each has its trade-offs. The lower security ones definitely have their advantages, especially on Thanksgiving. At FCI Florence in Colorado, they feed you like a king. A guy named John B. once told me he's a New York native who finished his 15-year-old bid in Colorado in a medium security. When I got my fully loaded tray, I thought to myself that club fed wasn't just a myth. The trays were glutted with damn near half a turkey, not the processed ish they feed you in the higher security pen. I'm talking about the real deal. And pecan pie, effing real pecan pie. I bought 7 slices of this shit. We do have our days when everyone isn't plotting against you. Thanksgiving is one of them. On Thanksgiving, we come out of our cells with a little less trepidation towards our neighbors. I might hear a couple happy Thanksgivings here and there as I head to the computer to check my emails. If I have any messages, I'll respond in kind and send out my holiday greetings to the world before I head over to use the phone. Holidays are pretty much the only time when you know loved ones are waiting on your call. The communication is planned days prior, so everyone in the family can make sure they're together in one place when you dial in. The phone will get passed around to aunts and uncles, and talking to them actually reminds me of what it feels like to be human and feel loved. The vibe inside the cell units is lighter on Thanksgiving, the tension not so thick. The politics of the pound fall into the background as the excitement over the calls home and the day's football games near. Even the correctional officers get into the giving spirit. Offenses that would typically merit a trip to the hole are swept under the rug for a day. That is really interesting. Let me look at this one too with you guys, but I want to check on you in the comments for a second. Hey, Angie. Oh, Melissa, I know she's got some stories. There were some famous inmates there too. I don't know if she would ever come on and talk about it. She might be, Crumbs. Maybe. Oh, Angie, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Brandywine. Maybe she would come on sometime, Jessie. Happy Thanksgiving, all you Americans. B Crumbs, I think so, but honestly, it's changed recently, so I don't want to give you the wrong date, but I'll look into that for sure. I know in jail they gave my ex Cornish hens and mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving. I've only been in jail for a few hours. And when I never made it past the holding cell, but they fed me one meal while I was there, and it was like noodles with, oh my God, they had like no taste at all. It was just like cardboard noodles, and there was like one other thing on the tray. Ugh. What are America's most famous prisoners having for Thanksgiving? While celebrities like Joe Exotic, Harvey Weinstein, and R. Kelly spend another Thanksgiving behind bars, others, such as Todd and Julie Chrisley and Tory Lanez, are experiencing the holiday in prison for the first time. Despite their circumstances, their menus are said to include mostly traditional and plentiful items like turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. The U.S. prison system has a packed menu for its most well-known offenders. Let's see. There's Tory Lanez. We know he's in trouble for what happened with Meg the Stallion. He got 10 years for shooting her. He's having roast turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, diced carrots, cornbread dressing, green salad, dinner roll, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie. Okay, Todd Chrisley is at a federal prison camp, which there was a camp at my mom's prison too. So there was like regular prison part, which was like, you know, major fences around it, gates, all that stuff. But then before you get into that last gate, there was a camp, and that's like they can leave and come whenever they want, not off their property, but like out of their cell and anywhere else on the prison yards. Like, just a lot more freedom. Cornbread dressing. I don't know if I've ever had that. So Todd Chrisley is having roast turkey, glazed ham, gravy, mashed potatoes, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce dinner rolls, and assorted pies. Julie Chrisley is having turkey ham or roast turkey, baked candied yams, cornbread dressing, macaroni and cheese, gravy, green beans, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and pie. Suge Knight is having the same as Tory Lanez. R. Kelly is in a medium security federal prison in North Carolina. And he's having roast turkey, baked candied sweet potatoes, cornbread dressing, green beans, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and pumpkin pie. Harvey Weinstein is in New York, and he's having, let's see if there's anything different, whipped potatoes, sliced steamed carrots, and an ice cream sundae. Josh Duggar, he's at a federal pen in Texas, very similar to the other guys. Tiger King, Joe Exotic. He's having smoked turkey legs, cornbread stuffing, mac and cheese, sweet potato casserole, green beans, turkey gravy dinner roll, and pecan or sweet potato pie. There's Melissa's turkey legs. Joe Exotic's having it. What in the world? Virginia Beach and Raleigh, North Carolina are on this list, and they're both very close to me. I don't like that. It's not a good list to be on. But anyways, you guys, that is so interesting what they're having in prison for Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. So, hey, Vicki. Thank you guys for being here, by the way, and hanging out today. Hey, Neat Noodle. Government cheese is made in some prisons. Wow. I spent 5 days in jail on Mother's Day weekend in 2012. Oh, at 6 months pregnant. Oh, my God almighty. Hey, Idaho Charlie. Yes, Jessie Lynn. Federal prisons are like supposedly way better than state prisons. They're nicer. Like the prison my mom worked at was super nice. But I think other things too. Elementary students don't get all that for their Thanksgiving meal. Cornbread dressing. What the heck is it, y'all? Now I want to know. Hey, Melissa. There you are. Turkey leg. And we were just talking about you and those turkey legs and all these Thanksgiving meals. I hope you're feeling all right today. And I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I know Melissa has a live in just a little bit. 19 minutes. I cried so hard when Melissa was talking about those turkey legs. Hello, the Watts. Where am I? What kind of dressing do you have? Turkey? What's cornbread dressing? Like, is that what it was called? Did I even say it right? I don't know. Crime Curious. Let me drop her link too. If you guys missed it, her video with all of the calls with no commentary is up and with timestamps so you can skip around. You don't want to miss these because we have Letitia talking to Toilet Talking Boyfriend's mom in one. We have Letitia talking to a man that she met in prison in another. And they're all timestamped, so you could easily find them. We also have Letitia and her friends planning out Harley's entire life. Just like regular dressing, huh? It's like stuffing, but instead of bread, it's made with cornbread. Ooh, that sounds good. Was that on the screen? The Chrisleys. Raspberry sauce, that sounds good. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for coming here. And the jail file and the prison report. Awesome. Thank you, Curious Jen. We're still going to talk about some jail file stuff here. I think that we are like on around page 1,000, which, but we're still going to try to flip through some of it. So it is just like stuffing. I looked it up. Okay, but yeah, thank you guys that came and hung out with me to talk about this new book release. Also, did you know about this other book that she came out with that also was about the Watts case, the Suffer the Little Children book? I didn't know about that. I was really surprised to hear that. Yeah, and I think that's all. Thank you guys for being here. Definitely go check out the calls. Let me drop Melissa's link. She has a live tonight, and I know Jen talked about going live, but I haven't heard or seen anything, so I don't know. I think she is, but yeah, thank you guys for being here. I hope you had a good day with your family or with yourself or whatever. I just hope it was a good day. Oh, thank you, Jessie Lynn, for being here. All right, and thank you to my mods. Thank you to everybody. I love and appreciate you guys. I really do, and I'll see you soon. Bye.